Hello, everyone. This is TMK, and welcome to my first episode with Guild Wars. Today, I'm going to be going over the Warrior class and how to build it for PvP. We'll go to our Hero tab and go to our PvP equipment. All right here, you can see pretty much everything about my build except for the skill trees, which we will be going over later. You'll see my amulet, my rune, my sigils, and my weapons. So for this build for the warrior, I focus on condition damage, and that's how I do most of my damage. My rune is right here, is the rune of vampirism. Basically, it gives me more health and power, but also allows me to heal whenever a foe dies. Also look over here and you'll see my amulet. Again, you'll see that it focuses on condition damage and precision. I've recently realized that I have a lot of power, even though I don't have anything focusing on that. But my focus is still the condition damage. You'll see I still have a lot of all that other stuff, that vitality and that condition damage and that precision. My sigil of agony, this is the duration of my bleeding, and sigil of compounding, which will increase damage per condition of my foe. Again, sigil of agony when I switch, and a sigil of savagery to help me deal more damage against stun and increase the duration of the stun. Notice I'm doing dual swords and shield. I have Defiant Stance, Sundering Leap, Balanced Stance, Frenzy, and Battle Standard. And I'm going to go into more of why I have these a little bit later. When we go to the build section, our weapon skills, this is really helpful when you're planning. You can align your skill trees with what weapons you're using. Since I'm using the sword and the shield, I have arms and defense. I also have Berserker as well. Gives me a good amount of aggression and a good amount of defense and offense. So before I start going into the detail of my build and why I chose to use what I use, there are three things you have to consider when building someone for PvP. First, how are you going to do your damage? Like, everyone has to deal damage, otherwise it doesn't really work. Second, how are you going to survive? And finally, how are you going to help your team? How can you best help your team win the game? Each class is really good at doing certain things. But what I like about Guild Wars is you can pretty much do anything with any class. There's even a way to support with the warrior if you know what you're doing. So up here, this is where a lot of my sword stuff comes in. You'll notice that there are things that increase expertise, condition damage, as well as bleeding duration and fury. The main thing I have here, dual wielding. That's what's important here because it increases my attack speed. Faster I attack, the more bleeding I can apply with my swords. My shield, you'll notice there's a couple of good things. I really love this shield master because when there's something like a ranger or anyone who's ranged who's shooting at me, I can block with my sword or my shield, and I'll reflect those projectiles back at them. As well as it gives me a little bit more tank. This is where my survivability comes in, is right here. Especially with this last stand, it basically applies stability whenever I would be disabled in any way. Notice I also have Balanced Stance down here. It allows me to break stuns, give a more aggressive way. If someone is down and I'm ready to finish them and they try to knock me over, I can just use that beforehand. They can't do that. I can just finish them easily. So you can see how my skills up here correlate with what's down here. There's also, for the Berserker, I tend to focus more on the the condition damage. You'll also see a ferocity boost. Here's what I like to use. I mean, this is a really good trait too, and as well as this, and I don't take away from any of these. It just depends on what you want. But I prefer this because it allows me to apply burning on people who hit me. All right. As for my skills, this increases my attack speed the faster I attack. The more damage I do. Also, this battle standard, I think it's the most OP. If you don't want to use it, I also like the Signet of Rage. I'm sure these two abilities would be good as well. I really like that battle standard because your team, you can maybe have like 2 people down and 3 of their people down. You can just throw that banner down, it'll finish people, and it'll finish your foes and revive your allies. And that can be a fight changer right there. Also, if you time it just right, there's a short delay between the time it channels and the time the battle standard will hit the ground. So if you're about to die and you time it just right, you can throw the banner down and instantly rally yourself. It's pretty cool. I'll show you that a little bit later. I'm gonna show you how this build works with Chieftain Utah Hein. How do you say that? That's weird. Alright, so I got my Defiant Stance active. He can't really do anything. Gonna throw my sword. Stab him, increases the bleeding. Look at all that bleeding I've got on him. He's doesn't have a chance. I don't even have to use my Berserk. That's what you'll see is I don't really use my Berserk too much because it's when I'm actually fighting people, it's really hard to get at. So I'm gonna hit a bunch of golems in an area. This is a really great PvP build. I'll use my Berserk a lot more in PvE than I will in PvP. Alright, I'm gonna stop hitting these guys because, you know, they're gonna keep respawning as soon as I kill them. Let that other guy finish them. Alright, this is how I do it against an elementalist. I'm not going to use my Berserk mode because that's already on. Got some nice blocking. Alright, I'm going to apply that Defiant Stance in the Balance Stance and finish them. They can't do anything. Alright, we'll go against this Revenant next. Revenant is a very interesting class. Again, I'm not just going to trigger my Adrenaline because already on there. See, I'm getting kind of low, so I'm going to apply my shield and stun. Oh, this guy's helping me. Okay. I'm going to finish. You can see that my balance stance activated. They must have applied something to slow me down. Alright. Lastly, I'm going to show you how this works against a ranger. I'm going to kind of like wait for my adrenaline bar to go down. I can actually use that. But we're going to walk up. We're going to let this guy shoot me. Alright, we've got arrows coming down. You saw that, he shot me and the arrow went back. It's really nice, especially when they do the quick rapid fire thing. Or if they do the knockback arrow, it's really nice for that too. So you can see we got a nice class that deals a lot of damage and has a lot of survivability. I tend to find it big against dragon hunters because of those traps. Those things just tend to wreck me. Even with this, it's all the condition damage that just lasts longer than and the Defiance Stance. If you don't want to use Defiance Stance, there's obviously a lot of other abilities you can use that will work just as well. I just like that because it gives me a few seconds of basically invulnerability. Another class I tend to struggle with is the Mesmer. It depends on the Mesmer. Sometimes I can do better against them. Just depends on how skilled the player is. So I hope you enjoyed that build. Obviously, there's a lot more you can do out there. I'm not the best player. I'm only in silver 3. It's not really anything to brag about, but if you're looking to get better and you're below that, definitely try this out. Do you have any friends who would be willing to try this out, or who want to get good at PvP, or who you want to get good at PvP? Recommend this video to them. Yeah, I think that about covers it. I'm going to show you the banner rally thing, and then we'll go on to the PvP. I'm going to show you. I said I could rally myself. I'm going to show you. That's something that's really hard to do. I'm going to just get this guy down, act like I'm fighting. All right. See him, he's attacking me. See all that condition damage that's being done. All right, now he's hitting me really hard. I have to time this really right. And I'm back up. I'm surprised I did that perfectly the first time. All right, enough of that waiting. Now we get to see which map we're going to be doing. All right, not what I voted for. Jin's Dominion. It's a rather interesting map. Your objective is to capture a point that will give your team access to an ability. Other than that, your PvP just relies on capturing the points and killing your enemies. So pretty simple, no matter what you do. All right, there's your point that gives you your ability. You got 3 points. That one's probably called the Harbor. I never really pay attention to what they're called. I just know what they're talking about. I'm gonna pull up our score screen here. For me, that's B. This is my team and what they're using. This is their team. We're going to analyze what their team is. They've got a Dragon Hunter. So I'm going to try and stay away from that guy. Unless I feel like I'm confident that I could actually beat him in a fight. There's a Thief, a Ranger, a Warrior, a Guardian. I tend to do better against these people, and so when I'm going to go into a fight, these are the people I'm going to be worrying about. Wouldn't be surprised if this was a guy playing. Oh darn, I was so busy fighting I didn't mark ready. Oh well. Look, we have a Dragon Hunter too, so beavers and stuff. everything. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you in the next episode.